All right, Lil Willin, that being MOTB, um, heavily. All right, they got Elon Musk, which he's not the only one. With what is that called, Neuralink, where they're doing like the BCI, the brain computer interface, where basically they're not trying to, but they're implanting, RFID C chips inside of people's brains. Okay, and they're claiming that for people that are like paraplegic or disabled in some way, you can basically now control these computers and systems. You can text, all right. You can do all these things by just your brain, because they've connected this device into your head, and that's what the Apostle John saw in his vision, concerning the MOTB, Revelation 13. As a matter of fact, let's start off with that real quick, and then we hit second of this. Yeah, you got the. So that's pretty much the times that we're in. At the end of the day, it's interesting because we come and say the same thing over and over again. Also, let's get Ezekiel 33, and let's start at 30. Okay, because at the end of the day, when these things come to pass, right, as it says in 2nd Ezra 5 and Amos 8 and 11, they're gonna come seeking the word of the Lord. All right, because at the end of the day, when all hell starts breaking loose, people are gonna start seeking answers. They're not gonna give a damn where it's coming from. They just gonna want answers. They're gonna be bugging out. They're gonna be looking for, what's happening? Why are the lights off? My phone ain't working. And they show you that in some of these movies that it really just takes like a couple of days before all hell really breaks loose. A lot can happen in 24 hours. From the grocery stores being empty. Because the initial day, either people are confused or people are panicking. They're running up into the stores, they're grabbing whatever they can grab. But then after a while, when they realize that, shit is really going down, shit is really hitting the fan, that's when it's going to go south. That's when the violence is going to go up. I was showing the brother earlier today that, as the scriptures say, the earth was full of violence prior to the Lord flooding the earth. It's full of even more violence now. You had a brother that shot his sister while she had I think it was a 10-month-old baby in her hand over unequal birthday presents. Unequal Christmas presents. Some shit like that. And then I saw a video yesterday where basically you had this woman. This is crazy, man. You basically had this woman who said apparently her 2-year-old son didn't want to finish his food, so she crushed his skull and then put this dude in the oven, this kid in the oven, baked his ass, and then chopped him up and buried him in her backyard. And then when the cops came, after that she called the cops and said that her child is missing and some man came in and attacked her. So when the cops came in there with the hounds and they sniffed out the body, they found out it was in her backyard, and they basically told her ass, look, which is wicked as well, right? But they basically told her ass, look, we'll give you a plea deal, and you can if you plead guilty, we'll give you just 30 years. She said, nah, I'm gonna fight it. And I'm gonna tell them that it was all unintentional. Cause she don't go to court, she's gonna sit before the judge. She's gonna tell the judge, I crushed his skull unintentionally, and then while I was doing that, I accidentally slipped and shoved him into the oven and then turned it on while I was at it. After it was done, for however long I had him in there, I took him out, chopped him up, and I put him in the ground. But all that was accidental. I'm not even sure how it happened. I slipped, and he ended up over there. And then the man that attacked me, I don't know how that happened. So she obviously lost that, and they throw her ass in there for life, plus an additional 9 years or so without parole. I don't even know why they do that, but the point is, if you in there for life, what's the additional 9 years gonna do? You know what I'm saying? They're gonna wait for you to get reincarnated and then throw your ass in there for 9 years and then you come out. But that goes to show you the mindset of society today. This is where people are at. This is what so-called mothers are doing. So you got to be careful, because here it is. Guess what? If the father's alive, imagine what he's going to feel when he hears this. Tell him, your wife, because the system is set up to benefit the woman. This system here, it doesn't matter what you say, the system is set up to benefit the woman. So in most cases, men lose custody to the woman. And when that happens, guess what? Imagine, I'm not saying that's the case, but imagine that was the case. And maybe he was paying child support, and she was watching the kid, and she never did this. That's weird. So first off, when they said that we give you a plea deal, if you plead guilty, we're going to give you 30 years, that's off. That's all according to the scriptures, because that's murder. And according to the scriptures, if somebody commits murder, they got to be put to death. But they don't set up those laws in this land, and that's why there's so much violence all around.
Older brother from the bar to the gas station, and he went to use a porta potty, and there was a body just laid out.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and the cops were there, and they said, "Don't go over there." He was like, "Why?" And he saw the body on the sheet. Last night, brothers are seeing bodies dropping left and right.
And it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. See, that's the thing. Like, you know, people are so caught up in their emotions and they're so blinded. It's interesting that even now, you know, with the world in the state that it is right now, people are still not paying attention to what's going on. These elites at the top level, trust and believe, they do not care. They don't give a damn. Their heart is colder than ice. Okay, they can commit genocide and call it a day. Go sleep good and wake up the next day and commit some more genocide. Let's actually get that in Micah 2:1. Okay, so their plans to calm the population, you know, they're not going to hesitate on that. The one thing that they're mainly fixated on is their agenda that they're trying to achieve. Ultimately, by implanting, you know, that seed inside of everybody's head. They don't give a damn how many people they got to kill for that. In fact, it actually works in their favor when they reduce the population because there's less people to resist. So when they come out and they start, you know, providing you things, this devil has an agenda to exterminate your ass, but he's gonna come and tell you, hey, we're gonna give you these pharmaceutical drugs, we're gonna give you this, that, and the third to help preserve your life. What's this guy? Kill Bates basically openly said, and this I'll never forget, in a TED Talk, he openly said in front of everybody, if we do a good enough job with the V's, we can reduce the world's population by, I think it's like 10 or something percent. 10 to 15%. And these dudes started clapping. These dudes saying in the crowd, oh, yes, we need people like this guy. Excuse me? Did you not hear what the guy just said? So what is a good enough job if the end goal is to reduce the world population? I thought these V's were supposed to save lives. So then when they come out and they push it on you, the reason he was able to come out and say that is because he knows that, guess what? If they were to do a repeat of 2020, people will still fall for that. And they will run, they say, I'm rolling up. I'm not just rolling up the left, I'm rolling up the right. You know? You can give me the left arm and the right arm.
Smash that video off of YouTube.
Oh yeah? And that was on that was a TED Talk too. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great.
Now keep in mind that at this point in time, I think this is like a little after like 95 AD or so, or right around there, where when you read the sources, they tell you that the Apostle John, right, which is one of the disciples of the Lord, he was the last one, I believe, that was left. And back then, because of what they were teaching, because of what he was teaching, they basically took him. I forgot who. I think it was Domitian. Domitian was the Roman emperor at the time, and they basically said, "Yo, we got to get rid of this guy." They tried to put him to death by boiling him, putting him in boiling oil, but he came out just fine. According to some sources, he came out just fine. So they ended up banishing him to the island of Patmos, which was basically like a salt mine where he was on there to work. You know, like a labor camp where you work. And while he was there is where he received these visions, i.e. that's why it's called the Book of Revelations. These were things that were revealed to him. As a matter of fact, we actually go to Revelation 1, I think 1 and 1, and then we come back to 13, where it talks about things that must surely come to pass. It goes down to 1 and 1 down to 3.
Revelation 1 and 1, the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which the Most High gave unto him.
Because that's the true name of the Son. It's not Jesus Christ. Jesus, the word Jesus is not even Greek. Okay? You had the Romans that were ruling, okay, but some of the common languages that were spoken, mainly among the Jews, were Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek, which Greek was really for those that were learning. But common folks spoke Hebrew or Aramaic, which Aramaic is just a dialect of Hebrew. It's like a sister language. Okay, that's why when they crucified Yahushua, they had it written King of the Jews in those three languages, the Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. Okay, so how is it that when he was born, they're gonna call him Jesus? The letter J the letter J did not exist at that time. How is it possible for his name to be Jesus? You know, when you read it, it says, okay, so we're just gonna go with that. Go ahead.
To shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Read that again.
From the top.
Yeah.
The revelation of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which the Most High gave unto him.
So the Most High, which when you read the scriptures, it tells you that he declares the end from the beginning, right? So everything that happens is already preordained. Shit. Shalom. Yeah, I don't know, the spirit just hit me. I was like, boom, let me see the brother in the backstage. That's it. But yeah, it's literally like somebody tapped you on the shoulder, like, yo, check that. Yeah. But what was I saying? Right, but I was saying that the Most High declares the end from the beginning. So he basically, obviously, he's the writer, he's the director. So he basically designed everything, created the storyline and everything, and then said, look, this is what's going to happen at the end. So these are the revelations, because even Yahushua, the second in command, does not know when he's going to come. All right, but the Most High gave these revelations to Yahushua, and then allowed him to reveal some of these things to his servant John. All right, that's what we're reading of here. Go on.
To shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Right, so this isn't like a prediction. Like, that's the thing. People don't read it in the Bible. They take what's that he say, she say, and they'll say, but the Bible is written by a man. What book do you have that was not written by a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, every book that you learn from, how do you learn how to speak English? How do you learn about history? All these things, whether it's sarcophagus, I think that's what it's called, you know, or some archaeological finding, these are all written by men. That's how you learn, okay? The point is, this was a revelation, this was revealed onto the Apostle John. So of course he had to write it down. That's kind of like saying that if I was a witness with I don't know, some shooting went down and I was a witness and I wrote down what I saw, and the cops came and asked me, and I said, well, this is what I got. They said, oh, no, you wrote that? No, we can't take that. Sorry, you a man, right? No, we can't take that. We can't take that. We need something else. We need a high power to come reveal this to us. That doesn't make sense. So the men that wrote this, they were primary sources.
Yeah,
You got it?
2 Peter chapter 1, I'm reading the NLT. 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 20. Above all, you must realize that no prophecy in Scripture ever came from the prophet's own understanding or from human initiative. No, those prophets were moved by the Holy Spirit and they spoke from the Most High.
Oh, you know, it's interesting, right? If they just got up one day and just wrote these predictions down, how is it that they didn't understand it? You know, why would they seek the interpretation of the vision? Yeah, exactly.
Some people put the top of head up, I'll be like, nah, Rob, I'm bullshit. Oh, they died.
That's it. Back time, come down a bit. Come closer. Just right around here, so that person is big. You know, so that's the point right there. Like, that's a good point. If they made these things up, they should have understood the inside and out of it. You know?
It says, I'll read it from the top again. Revelation 1:1. Revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which the Most High gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
Right, which must surely come to pass. Now, keep in mind, obviously, that, you know, our perception of time is different, you know, than the Lord's. But really, when you pay attention to some of the prophecies in these books, in this book, there's some things that are, you know, that have happened. Some things that happened at the before the time of John, like Revelation 12, a certain part of that. Some things that are meant to happen after. But when you really look at the succession of prophecies that are meant to happen in the end times, the time in between these prophecies happening is not really a long time. Okay? They're sort of like one after the other, after the other, after the other. When you read about Revelation 17 and the destruction in there, it's 17th chapter comes after the 16th chapter. And in the 16th chapter, it talks about the MOTB. Okay? So a lot of these things, that 17 goes into the war, and the nations turning on the U.S. or Babylon. Then 18 goes into the fulfillment of the destruction of this place. 19 talks about the return of Yahushua. So a lot of these things are going to be back to back to back. They're going to be short. There's going to be a short time in between these prophecies that are meant to happen, especially these major ones.
And it's also not in chronological order.
Right. You got something?
Yeah, real quick. You also notice when the brother was reading it, the precept said that things which must shortly come to pass, but it was given to the servants, right? And who are the servants? The prophets. That's why in these last days, the prophets are the ones who have been raised up by Yahweh to what? To proclaim the words that were written in there. You know, you got people who say, oh, ain't no prophets on the scene right now because the prophets back then they were getting visions, and the Most High ain't coming to no man to give him no visions in these days. Well, guess what? There's a reason why the visions are written in the scriptures, and those same men are back here again to explain those visions in these last days. These are not the times for visions. These are the times to explain the visions that have been written aforetime, right? That's why the prophecy says that everything written aforetime is written for our learning, that we, through comfort and patience of the scriptures, might have hope. Okay, hope in what? Hope in salvation of the same words and the promises that were given to the Israelites. Start with the elect. Okay? So it's very simple to the elect, but to those who are not elect and the heathen, it's super complicated because they're not meant to get it. Okay, it's done by design, but this information is specifically given to the servants of Yahweh Shemel Shai, which starts with the prophets. Alright, Amos 3:7 tells you that. Alright?
Yeah, but that's why it says that the song only used to be so it ain't for everybody, and that's okay. Matter of fact, it'd be a lot more work for us if it was for everybody. If we have to worry about getting every listen. I always give this example. I say, look, you can't even get like 10 people in a room to agree on the same thing. That's very difficult to do. If that thing is like, what are we gonna eat? I'll just say like ingredients thing. Somebody's gonna have a problem. Okay, we finally after 2 hours of eating on pizza. Now the problem is I want pepperoni. No, I don't want pepperoni. I want cheese. But no, I don't want cheese. Okay, how about we get it going? No, I want us all to eat the same thing. Somebody's gonna have a problem at some point. So if you can't even get these people to do one thing, how do you expect to get the whole entire world to be on board, or at least Jake, wherever they at? So that's why really the Lord made our lives easier by saying, look, there's only 40 elect, and as a matter of fact, you don't even have to go and look for them. You just speak the word, and I'm gonna do the searching. Just put it out there. That's why we always out here, because that's what the Lord commanded us to do.
I think that's the parable with the fish net. Basically, the fisherman cast out the net and then bring in whatever. It says brings in the good fish as well as the bad will cast away.
Well, let's get that. Let's hold that. You say you had a precept, right? Let's finish this and then finish precept.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the work.
And it goes to show, that's why King David said that this is the valley of the shadow of death. There's always, like, I wonder if there's one day where there's no ambulance going back and forth. Here it is. This is the one of the most so-called advanced countries with the best medicine and best doctors and all that, and yet somebody's always dying or somebody's always sick. Somebody always got some problem.
Who bear record of the word of the Most High and of the testimony of the Yahushua and of all things that he saw.
Right, so it was the testimony of Yahushua because it was given to him, and he was revealing it to his servant, the Apostle John. So it wasn't like, the Apostle John just got up one day and decided to get banished and then just come up with this. There's some elaborate plan to deceive the people of the future. For what? What are we going to gain from that? Anyway, the point is, like what we just read over there. So he bear record of that. So now when we jump back to Revelation 13 and 16, that's one of the accounts that he saw. What he wrote down was what he actually saw. So imagine like if you went to the movie theater, but it was like a virtual reality, where like whatever movie you were watching, it feels like you're in it, because you turn around, you can hear the sounds, you can like see these things. It's almost like you're there. Like there's this one of the Harry Potter movies. For those that watch Harry Potter, I think it was Harry Potter and the either the Philosopher's Stone or something like that. But basically, one of those movies, you know, they deal with magic and shit. He goes into this the library, and there's this book, and when he opens the book, you know, the pages just start to flip, and it actually like sucks him into the book. So when he gets sucked into the book, it's almost like he's in that world, like in spirit though. So he can see everything that's going on, but obviously they can't see him. You know, so like similar to that. So he was describing what he saw, and that major prophecy that he saw in Revelation 13 and 16 was exactly as he described it. He didn't know the intricacies of it. He didn't understand what technology, what transistors and, you know, microfibers and all that they used to build this device. That's why he described it as plain and simple as he could, which we're gonna read. But yeah, make your point, and then yeah, she got a precept.
Because in this book, in the scriptures I have, it gives you like an intro to like break down
yeah,
the book. So it says, Introduction to Revelation. The word revelation means unveiling or disclosure. This is a book that reveals how the person, righteousness, and judgment of Yahweh Shai are going to be revealed in all of the fullness and power of the Most High. Yeah, so it had to be revealed. It was something that was sealed. I think he says it in the 5th chapter. It mentions how the book was sealed, and then the Lamb was able to open the seals. So if something was sealed, then that means that there was a particular vision that had to come to fruition. And in the last days, it's like a Hail Mary pass that the Lord threw us 2,000 years ago, and then we caught it now.
Right.
In this life.
So that's a good example, yeah. Yeah, as you get your precept.
Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 5, starting from verse 16. It says, But the Lord Yahweh of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and God that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Verse 18 says, Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were a cord of rope, that say, Let him, mean the Most High, they want to talk shit. So they say, Let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw near and come, that we may know it. So this is when they talk shit, when Isaiah was on the scene, when the prophet Jeremiah, when all these prophets were on the scene, warning Jake like about the day of the Lord, about how terrible things are coming if they don't repent, they will be talking shit like this, just like how they're doing right now. And unfortunately, there's another year has come to pass where we had hope for our deliverance to be from the beginning of this year. I mean, 2023. But unfortunately, it's over. But it's all the works of the Lord. You know, it's good for us to be in the spirit of always, hey, the Most High is right behind the curtains. But you have a lot of people who also want to talk shit, and they say, you said the Most High was gonna come to you. What happened to them?
So let's get to them.
And this is the spirit of Jake always. And everybody here has a testimony. I know this brother personally has a testimony. I have a testimony of people you brought to the truth. You start teaching them, and then after a month or so, like my man, if the most you came to the truth, and the Most High said, let me bring the judgment in a month. How the hell you think you're going? Right. You don't have enough faith built up. You don't have your spirit rooted in this enough to withstand the day of the Lord. Right. People are so hasty, man, and they don't think before they speak. And that's why all this shit that they keep saying right now, they're now like, what's it called? They're on the Most High's hit list. You know, you ain't in the book of life. You're in the book of death, all right? And so, and the angels gonna come for your ass. You know, your audacity, man, on these fucking jakes.
It's a microwave generation. They want a microwave doctrine, a microwave deliverance. You know, nobody wants to be patient and wait.
I just wanted to add on to Brother Ayash's point. You gotta think of it like this. The end has an end point, literally like this. And we're getting closer and closer to it. So every year that passes by, you can talk and shit like, oh, well, why didn't it happen today? Or why didn't it happen last year? You were saying this and that, like you're gonna have that Christmas as well. But there's an end date, and every year that passes by is getting closer and closer and closer to that date, to the point it's gonna smack you in the face. If I'm not mistaken, 2nd Ezra 9 is out, measured out the times diligently. There is an end to everything, and every year that passes by, y'all, it's getting closer and closer to that, and you have done nothing for the Lord. That's why it says in Sirach, I believe the 5th chapter, make no change to turn to the Lord, because there's an end point to everything. Just because you don't see it today, don't mean that it's not going to happen. Your end could be next year. Matter of fact, like with Kobe, right? But yeah, now Kobe didn't see the end, but he saw his end. You don't know, your end could be next year.
That's it.
That's what you got to turn to the Lord.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's why the scriptures say the Lord is going to come suddenly. And he's gonna come at a time when you don't expect him. You know? And people are still gonna be in that spirit of unbelief, just like in the time of Noah. You know, when Noah was telling them, yo, these are the things that are gonna happen, keep in mind that it had never rained before. So you're not only telling them that it's gonna rain, you're telling them that there's gonna be a flood. And this ain't a flood, what the hell are you talking about? And you know, they looked at him like he was crazy. I mean, he was building a giant ark. I mean, it makes sense that it took him so long, but he was building a really massive ark, and they looked at him like, yo, this guy's lost his mind. He's not even living his actual life. He's spending all his time building this ark, and he claims that there's gonna be like this flood that's coming. Guess what? After all those years of being mocked while preaching, the flood came. And when the flood came, where did everybody go? They weren't running looking for Noah. But guess what? While Noah was on that ark, they were dying. And you know who was in there? Mothers, pregnant women, old ladies, little babies, fathers, animals. So did not the Most High cause the flood? So was he not aware that there were pregnant women and all that on the earth when he flooded? And that's why you fear the Lord. You got a lot of people that fear the devil, but the Most High created the devil. The devil fears the Lord. Here it is, the Satan is more God-fearing than the people on the earth.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Yo,
That's wild. You got it.
Connie, that's a beautiful point because that's a beautiful point that you're making there because ultimately, guess what? This world is for Satan. This is Satan's world. That's why you have to take brothers, except for a couple of brothers actually, parents. But you know, it's important to teach your children. That's why the scriptures tell you in the book of Proverbs, teach your children the way they should go. Because if you don't, the world is going to teach them the way not to go. Because this world is ruled by Satan, right? This is Satan's world. He offers it to Yahushua, and he offers it to everybody else who's willing to, you know, make a name for themselves in this world, right? So going back to that, even the faithful, all right, the faithful that these Christians believe in, which is the faithful that, you know, Satan at one point was in heaven, and you know, he grouped up with a whole bunch of other demons, right? And they tried against the Heavenly Father, and they got to war in heaven, and then they got cast down to the earth, right? And then
Yeah, they don't. That's the thing. Like, you know, they say all these things, but at the end of the day, you know, if we were as bad as they say we were, we wouldn't be out here on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, these like Esau Edom puts out the different narratives on the media. You know, he creates the different sites and all that, and makes it seem like, you know, we're the worst people in the world for coming out and teaching the Bible. Well, guess what? With how bad you want is off the streets. If you had a case, wouldn't we already be off the streets? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, hey, just like the brother said, the thing is, we actually stand for what we believe in. You know, there's a lot of people in the world that don't actually stand for what they believe in. Like a lot of so-called Christians, they go to church on the, hey, like you were saying, right? We saw that lady dressed like a disco ball and shit going to so-called church. She's not going to learn anything. Here it is, you come into the truth, what, 2 months, a month, 2 months, you know a lot more than somebody that's been going to church for like 16 years. You ask him, so how many sons did Abraham have? That's Noah and I think Methuselah. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I think Adam was one of his sons. Oh, Adam was Abraham's son. Yeah, I remember that. And he killed his brother Cain.
There's this one cat I grew up with. I started trying to break down the truth to him, right? Costa Rican, Northern Kingdom cat, right? And he went to church his whole life. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he got scriptures tatted on him. All of a sudden, he looks at me and he goes, "Who really wrote the Bible anyway?"
Yeah, that's crazy. You got tatted. You gonna say that?
Bro, like what? And then he like try to like draw it back and realize how stupid it sounded. But you know, the truth ain't for everybody, man.
Balaam. See that side?
Yeah. But this is Jeremiah chapter 5. I'm going to read the translated version, the CSB, verse 12. It says, they have contradicted the Lord Yahweh and insisted it won't happen. Harm won't come to us. We won't see sword or famine. The prophets become only wind, for the Lord's word is not in them. This will in fact happen to them. And then they go on to curse the prophets of the Lord and all these things. Pretty much that's what happens. You know, people are they are like addicted to like sweet things. Whenever you say something that agitates them a little bit, and then they'll want you out the picture. And if you persist in trying to push the truth long enough, you go to someone is killed. And that's actually what's mentioned over there in the book of Revelation. As how people are gonna betray us and they're gonna do everything they can to get us off the street. Like I said, like we are we're trying to the best of our ability, but we are like so much better in righteousness than these other kingdoms, like these nations around us, right? These people that's living around us. So in this wicked society, everybody likes this wicked society. So if you insert yourself in as a righteous person, you discover your peace. You don't fit in. You know, oh man, they walk around us, they jog, and then they scoff. Like they don't think I hear them, but as soon as they get far away, once they get behind the stands, I'll look back and then they look over there and shake their head. You know, people like, but
there's nothing new.
Yeah, there's nothing new.
Nothing new. Same thing.
But if people have no fear of the Yahweh Shemini, that's why Isaiah the 5th chapter said that the Most High shall be glorified in the judgment. Right. They will know who He is when He's killing their ass. They will know who He is when they're starving and you don't have food.
Well, they found out in the flood.
Huh?
They found out in the flood.
Yeah. You're gonna remember who we. Like, yo, if you hear Yahweh Shemini outside, a year from now you never remember that again.
Right.
I bet you when you're hungry, when your lips are cracking, when it's chopped, you're gonna read. You're gonna remember that name. You know, He will be glorified in judgments. The prophets that are nobodies, when the things that they said are come to pass, you're gonna remember. You're gonna remember them. You're gonna remember when you're in the congregation. When you can't talk shit no more, you're gonna remember who your Yahweh Shai is. That's why I believe in the book of Samuel, I believe 7th chapter talks about how to the end that people may know that God believes in the kingdom of men. Daniel, yeah. Pretty much. You know, what's the paraphrasing?
This decree is by the word of the Holy God, by the Roger here. Daniel. Luck, I think brother got a point real quick, and then you got your precept.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say, make a point on when brothers were talking about how the churches don't know anything. One time I went to church, and because they were having a youth night, so I went because of the food. And then they were playing Bible Jeopardy, so I was like, all right, let me take part and let's see what this is about. It was boys versus girls.
And then the boys were losing. And then so I decided to speak up and answer some questions for them. And then after that, almost every question, they turned to me looking for the answer.
It's crazy.
And then we ended up winning because of that. But yeah, they really don't know anything.
They don't actually
It's
study.
not even the-
No, go.
It's not even the church members. The person who's teaching, I've had to talk to pastors and deacons. They don't know shit. Okay, they don't know anything.
They getting swag.
Yeah. No, I used to work in the church, and bro, I'm telling you, they don't know the scriptures. I don't know if there's a website that they go to. You go to 3 different churches on a Sunday, and somebody all talking about the same topic. You know, I don't know, like
It's the
schedule
curriculum they
you
gotta
guys
go
got-
with.
Yeah, curriculum you guys got going on. So it's
Well, a lot of them are 501c3. They charter.
nice, you know?
Yeah.
And they on the same personal scriptures. They never venture anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if Esau just pull up and here's your script for the week.
Yeah.
Read this shit.
Yeah. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of the Christian community they demonize they that's a form of trying to keep the truth from coming out because they'll put the finger they even understand because the first thing they say is so what y'all believe in religion is y'all that's an idea targeted to like detract fact of the matter. We stand for what we actually stand for. Which means we want to bring out the precept, which is Matthew 24, verse 9. And it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So what we stand for is Yahweh Shai, and that ultimately is like a giant secret because they want to push the word Jesus to keep us in a servitude type of mentality. If we coming into a rulership mentality, you can't think with the name Jesus if you want to seek salvation in the kingdom, which is the rulership. That's why I said they'll even try to sort you out to kill you because they'll start a riot against us in the name of in the future as the instigation of increasing. The more that you point the finger and demonize us, the more that people will get radical, like how the protesters did, the Chicago brothers, how they was getting more physical over us being not quote unquote Jews, but
Well, they
black
kind of
Jews.
provoked it. They kind of provoked it a bit there too. So,
Yeah, they did.
but I
They
get
did.
your point. I get your
But
point.
the level of hostility is going to increase
Yeah.
because we're going to be short out the killed.
Hey, but you know, like you said about the so-called, like you know, the churches and stuff. A lot of them are really hypocrites because they try to demonize us, and that they'll use the same things. First off, they ain't never used to go into the blue letter. All right. The conventional way that you would hear about the Bible when you went into these churches was that the pastor would be on the podium, the pulpit, whatever they want to call it. They would have the book open. They would never flip any pages on there. They would have a mic, sweating bullets, and they always got the handkerchief in the top left pocket too. So they go around talking, mistranslating scriptures left and right, mangling it for like 2 hours. And every 30 minutes on the dot, they got the music that comes in. You know, he stops and then he took Abraham to the rock. Then he looks around because the rock is a cute. Then the piano guy starts. Then the women come up in there. You know, then they start singing and shit. You don't learn anything in there. They never used to go into geography. When we came out here, we went into geography. If we're talking about a certain place, we're talking about Jerusalem, you got to know where it's at on the map. So you can understand how far is Greece, how far is Cyprus. When it says men came from Crete and Athens and you know, Babylon, where are these places on the map? You know, we went into the geography, we went into the actual history, we went into the actual Hebrew, we went into the actual root words to bring the understanding of the book. You know, understanding Old English, all of these things. They did not do that. Since when did they go into the interlinear concordance, into the lexicon? Oh, really, when you go into the word world, you know, it goes back to the Greek. What business you got knowing Greek? You know, but all of a sudden, everybody's super deep. And they teaching the same things we teaching. All of a sudden now America's Babylon. Oh, now you know America's Babylon. Now we the Israelites. We God's chosen people. The same person that demonizes is saying that. So they're a bunch of hypocrites.
Not the dark skin Israelites.
Yeah.
They don't say black. They don't
Yeah,
say
exactly.
black.
It's dark skin
No,
Israelites.
no. Oh, people is funny and
That's it.
and it's interesting how you said that too, because they started going into like the languages, like the etymology and all these things, but they won't do that with the name.
Right.
And the name, oh, the English is fine. Just God, Jesus,
Yep.
you know, Christ, Chris,
Yep.
and then you find all these things.
Chris-
But it's interesting how they mentioned how they look at the Bible, because after I've seen it, before, when they introduce us to the pastor, they give some fire ass intro though. But when he's coming in, they'll have somebody bearing the Bible, and the dude, the chick will just open and put it on the podium. He'd never touch that.
Nope.
He'd never touch that Bible. He'd just be having the mic,
That's crazy.
shuffling his feet, crip walking and all that. But pretty much, they don't go through the scriptures. They'll probably have like a projection, but he was speaking for like an hour, and there's only 2 precepts. You know, you spoke for an hour, and only 2 precepts, and it's about the same corny ass message that does not edify the people. Because really, there should not be a theology school in the world. Like that's why Yahushua made that commandment, make discipleship. You're not supposed to. And when you go to that word of discipleship, it means a scholar. So when you teach people the truth, they're supposed to be scholars in this truth. Like the brother said, there's the geography, the language, the etymology, the meaning of certain things, the culture. They're supposed to know all these things. You're not supposed to have your members paid to go to fucking college to learn the scriptures. Then you failed.
Right.
You know, you failed. You have your own. There'll be help your own youth pastors go to school. Well, if you can't teach them, why the hell are you a pastor then?
Right.
You know, it's gonna be a failure, man. They don't do shit.
Yeah, they set up that way.
Yeah.
I think you had something. Also, you had this video where you basically they in church celebrating Christmas, right? And the pastor's talking about jingle bell, I'm not going to hell. You saw that video, right? And that's what they do. I mean, the whole church, everybody's up jumping, dancing, and singing and shit.
They did that
Hey.
roll.
Yeah, Roy, hey.
Hey, and what does that tell you? Let's get that in a quick precept, and then you'll tell us what that tells you. Exactly what your brothers all mentioned. Basically, going into what that the church is nothing but just another fucking concert stage. You know what I'm saying? It's just another that sort of uses to propagate the lies upon our people. Okay, because the churches, you got what they call pastors. Pastors are nothing but comedians. That's all they are today. All right, they hop on stage just like you go to a concert, right? They go to an arena just like they do for concerts. They got music just like they do with concerts, right? They got a whole bunch of chairs. They call them the congregation. It's their fans. And these people are not there to really hear about the scriptures. They're here to see the performance of whatever the pastor's going to be doing that day. That's why they're really there. You know, they call it paying tithes and all that. You're not really paying tithes. You're just paying for a ticket to get a seat in that fucking church. That's all it is. Into the building, really. You know, and then they do all these stupid ass dances, and it's a fucking performance, man. Nothing else. So that's why these Christians are dumb as hell, and they have no idea what the hell is going on in the scriptures. Because what they're not teaching over there. They're just going into a concert, because you don't go to a concert and say, oh, do they know scriptures? They're not there to learn those scriptures. So it's the same thing with the church. It's the same thing. Concerts, stage, pulpit, same shit, bands, women singing. It's a whole concert with a Bible twist. That's it. And they don't even go into the Bible.
Yep.
But there's a precept here. All right, there's a book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, and verse 21. It says, how long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? Right? The trumpet is an instrument of an alarm, okay, of calling. All right, in the ancient world, what is today known as a trumpet was known as the horn, the ram's horn, okay? And that's what our people used to send out a message. All right, yes, our people had that type of technology, okay? And you saw today, you have alarms, you know, you have the emergency system that goes off, and it makes a certain uncomfortable sound, and that sound is to what? Is to grab your attention to whatever is going on or wherever that sound is coming from. So the same thing is what the trumpet is supposed to do, is to sound an alarm, is to alarm you, to wake you up and say, oh, where did that come from? That's why cars have horns. It sounds like a trumpet to get you, you know, oh shit, what's this? You know? But it says here, verse 22, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. It says they have not known me. They are sottish children. And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. so-called Methodist church that's saying that using husband and wife is what they say is offensive or some bullshit like that. So that's
Yeah.
that's where the so-called church is going into now. You know, there's another one where I forget what denomination it was, but they said that a bishop pulled up with his husband, holding hands, coming
Hey.
to the church. Yeah. That's what they're doing. You know, and now they got this whole T.E. Banks, all right, out there, you know, doing all kinds of crazy shit, swearing and all this extra shit that he's doing for well-being, you know. But again, this is all the Lord exposing all the wickedness that's been going on for all these years. The witchcraft that's behind these so-called churches, which are all nothing but witch covens, man. All right, that's all they do with it. There's all witchcraft and Satanism that goes on in there, man. So we can tell you right now, the Most High is not in those churches. And guess what?
Oh, look at that.
2024 is coming. You're going to see a whole lot of judgment hit these so-called churches, man. Because 2023, all you was doing is just seeing them being exposed for all the wickedness. Shit that's going to bring judgment is what these niggas is doing, and it's being exposed. So what do you think is about to happen next? The goddamn judgment, man. That's what's coming next. All right? So 2024 is definitely going to be a year of judgment. Heavy Shabbat from Yahweh Shah, man. All right? And for those who are not on board with this truth, this might be your last time. This might be your last chance hearing the word, because with everything that's going on, with how these devils are moving, with their plans, I believe there's another meeting, Davos for 2024, and part of their plan is to what? Is to completely depopulate. And I know you brothers was going into it. I was in the background listening. You know, that's the next thing. So what we're going into, mass death and judgment and destruction, man. Okay? And these churches are gonna get it the most. All right, because there's a whole lot of bullshit that's going on in there. The Most High is about to destroy all that shit. All right, even in Israel. Okay, even in Israel, man, you got dudes that don't want to even proclaim the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son. That means you have no fear in the Lord, man. You have no fear, and that is an abomination in our culture, in our nation. All right, because we don't have kings. We don't, you know, before Saul and all that, the only one that we knew was Yahweh Shah. That's it. You know what I'm saying? These other nations, these other heathens, they have their judges, their kings, their whatever and shit. We didn't have that. We didn't need that. And we're going to go back to that. Okay? We're going to be one with our power. So all this madness that's going on is about to be checked very soon. 2024 is going to be every year of judgment, man. And it's coming. All right? You church is going to get it. All right? So I just wanted to add that in there.
Hey, if I could say, I think Moses was talking about the draconian laws is going to be getting kicked up right about now, because 2024 is like the year, like, you know, the elite pushing plans into effect.
Right. Yeah, and it's so-called election year as well. Now the thing about it is, like, the past two elections have already been crazy, and now it's like the one before the what, 8 years ago? Yeah, it's every 4 years. Shit. 8 years ago when Trump got in there, before he got in there, it was already, you know, chaotic. But he got up in there. And then the next one came about where Biden got up in there. So it's like a 1-1. And now they're saying, you got some states saying they're going to take Trump's name off the ballot. Some states are saying they're not going to do that. So this is not the United States of America, it's the divided states of America. And something has to go down next year, because either there's going to be an election or there's not going to be an election. And if there is, and somebody gets voted in, somebody's going to be unhappy. You know, somebody ain't going to be able to be willing to tolerate another 4 years of whoever it is that goes up in there. You got that movie Civil War that just came out?
Yeah, it's crazy you mentioned that, because in that movie, I think they said Colorado was going against other states. Colorado is the state that said that they're not going to have Trump on the ballot. So how do you think Texas is going to feel? How do you think the states that are pro-Trump are going to feel? They're going to look at Colorado like, you the enemy. Like, this is going to be tensions. Civil war could very well break out next year.
The Lord said that, right? The Egyptian against the Egyptians. There you go. The kingdom is divided, and it shall not stand. But what we got?
Revelation 13 still.
Okay. We had that axe. Let's bring that axe and let's go to Revelation.
This is Acts chapter 7, verse 48. Howbeit the Most High dwelt not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet.
Right. So like the point that was just made, a lot of these so-called churches are like temples that are made with hands. Obviously they're built, you know. But the point is that the Most High is omnipresent. Okay. So when they go and they coop themselves up in these churches, really that's like them the modern day groves, where they go under these so-called, when the ancient world they would go under the trees, the group of trees, and do their wickedness, their idolatry over there. They do a lot of that in these churches. You know, a lot of it is just idolatry. And they just mislead people. They get money out of them. As a matter of fact, when you actually look into when you read the book, I believe it was Satan's Angels Exposed. It actually tells you that a lot of these churches and a lot of these pastors are actually Satanists. They're actual trained witches and warlocks that actually go and they send them out to go and establish churches so that they can mislead people, because the best person to mislead you is your enemy. If they send somebody in there who is genuine and they try to you got to do it this way, it's going to be too much. Do it this way, he slips up and all that. No. So you send somebody that's professionally trained to know what not to say. A Satanist will know exactly what not to tell somebody who's trying to be a true believer. They will know exactly how to mislead them. So a lot of these churches out here that are set up are actually actual devil worshiping Satanists that pose as pastors to mislead the people. And that's why it's called Satan's Angels Exposed. His messengers are exposed. And now we're in that age where a lot of this, a lot of these things that were in secret are now coming out in the open. So now here it is. You got they're saying that this list is supposed to come out next year. What's that? the Epstein list and all of that. And I mean, it must be something very interesting if they apparently sought the help of the Israeli government to prevent the list from being exposed. Because they know that at this point, that's why it tells you in 2 Ezra 15 that they shall not regard their kings nor their princes. Because they're going to find out that a lot of them are just, a bunch of weirdos doing a lot of weird, freaky shit. And these are the people making laws that you got to follow. All right, let's go to what we got in Revelation.
Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So now going back to the vision that the Apostle John saw, when it says he causeth all, that he is not just one person. It's collectively representing Esau, Edom, but really the heads, the elites of them. So they come out and they tell you, once again, Elon Musk is the richest man. Elon Musk is not the richest man in the world. Jeff Bezos is not the richest man in the world. These people are like welfare cases compared to the higher elites. Okay? They have people that are above them. They take orders. Okay, they're like the look, the true so-called rulers of this world are unseen, and they like to keep it that way so they can deceive you. So they send out frontmen, people that you see their faces, like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and all of them. Those are the faces that you see, and this guy's net worth is X, Y, and Z. And so, listen, we're talking about trillions and trillions and even more, amount of money that these people owe. I mean, that these people own. Okay, they're the ones behind the scenes. So they're the ones who set the agenda. Do we still have Micah? Does anybody have Micah too?
Oh yeah.
Let's get that real quick and then we'll continue. Because they basically have these meetings, like the brother mentioned, the Davos and the World Economic Forum meetings, the Club of Rome. They have these meetings and they come together and they say they established a world government and ain't nobody elected any of them. Who the hell made you in charge to establish a world government and come tell everybody else what to do? They just got together one day and said, all right, we are the world government now. This is the direction we're going to push things in. How is it that the central bank, the BIS, all of these, the Federal Reserve, all of these are privately owned corporations? Okay? They're privately owned entities, and yet they're running the world. And everybody's just, all right, we're cool with it. And now they're giving what do they call them? These NGOs, these non-governmental organizations. That means that these are literally like, let's put it in layman's terms. Imagine there was a rich man who just got up one day and just said, I'm establishing this group, that group, this group, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to start facilitating the lives of everybody in the world. I'm not a government agent. I'm not a government agency. Because they said that the government was made to serve the people and yada yada. These are non-governmental organizations or agencies that are controlling your governments, that in turn are controlling you. So when we tell you that, look, this is what they get ready to do, oh no, the government wouldn't do that. The government is bowing down to them because that's what they did. That's why they were smart up here, and the first thing they did was infiltrate the governments. Because any potential opposition, they made sure to get up in there and stop it before it became a problem. The only problem now is us. See, the thing about us is we're not gonna come out here with weapons or anything like that. We're gonna come out here and expose you though, and that's the most dangerous thing, because it's like our defense is that we're not violent. These devils like to frame, and they'll come in here and they'll say, oh, they did this and they did that. And once we got a case on them, we could do this. But what they want to do is they want to stop our mouths. They want to stop the things that we're saying, because people are actually questioning things and saying, wait a minute, You said you're trying to do. Let me go and look this up and see what it is. And the problem is their power works in deception. When you're not fully aware of what's going on, it's easy for them to manipulate you and tell you, oh, it's actually this, oh, it's actually that. Especially when they know you're not going to look into it. Now imagine they do that and then we come out and say, oh, you know when they said X, Y, and Z, this is really what they meant. It's like when you go to the store and you buy a product and it says natural and artificial flavors. Or it says some name that you always see, you don't even know how to pronounce it, so you don't even care about it. And one day you hear a video of somebody telling you, hey, did you know that when it says glycerine or yada yada, it actually means this, which is actually made by this and is actually poisonous to you? Then whenever you go and you pick it up, you see that name, you're gonna think twice, you might want to put it back down. So they start to lose money. So what are they gonna say? Should we come after the person who's buying it? Should we come after the manufacturers? No. Let's come after the person who made that video. Because they just cost us millions of dollars. All they did was say a few words, and all of a sudden, all these people stop buying our products. We got to go and get this guy. That's what they did to this guy, Dr. Sebi, right?
Yeah.
So that's their MO. That's what they do. That's why us coming out and speaking alone is so dangerous. But the dilemma they have is, how do we downplay it, but at the same time get them off the streets? The second we go to put our hands on them, we can't downplay it anymore. And people are going to ask, what's so important about what they're saying that you had to go and try to put your hands on? If they're just a bunch of people who are just saying irrelevant things, just reading out the book, doing whatever they want to do, why are you so concerned about them to the point where you had to go and do X, Y, and Z? There must be some importance over here that you're trying to hide.
But that's actually when you read the scriptures, like in the book of Acts, they were careful to touch the apostles because they didn't want to start riots and things like that. Because some of the people believed them to actually be the men of the Lord, so they were careful. So that's the same thing that, like you mentioned, that we're seeing in modern times. You don't want to do that, like you were saying, because then it'll raise up eyebrows. Like, hold up, if they're just saying a whole bunch of nonsense. Why lock them up? So that'll raise up curiosity. Like, so what they're saying must have some truth to it then, because you don't just lock up nobody for nothing. If they're just saying a whole bunch of bull, like you say, oh, Luke's is coming, Chinese, all this type of stuff. That's just bullshit that they're saying. Why you? Why is nothing? Look at your crazy guys out there. So why are you locking up a bunch of crazy guys? Now that's gonna raise a curiosity. That's when the video views is gonna go. It must be something because you don't lock up nobody for nothing.
Yeah,
You know, no, go ahead.
That's what it talks about in the book of Second Ezra, and Second Ezra was about how truth.
Second Ezra.
Second Ezra. How truth is the strongest, and no man is able
Oh,
to
yeah, First
like
Ezra.
that. Yeah, First Ezra. And pretty much the scripture talks about how he's going to come down with he's going to be frustrated, and he's going to come down with great wrath, because this battle is unlike any other he's ever fought before. He lost his battle when Yahweh was on the scene, when the apostles were on the scene. Then he tried to put a cap on the ministry, right? He did everything he can within his power, and the truth still spread. And we still have the truth to today. And the scriptures are still preserved, even though he did everything to the best of our ability to hide it, to destroy it, to do all these things. He doesn't know how to fight this battle. See, it's easy for him to what? To give an order for his men to fucking bomb the Middle East, Iraq, Middle East. You know, to send militias to aid India, like dictators that are actually giving the nation. It's easy for them to do all these things because it's physical. But when it's the spirit of Yahweh Shemshah, they are powerless, and they hate that feeling because this devil is so fucking proud, and he thinks he's capable of doing everything, except when it comes to the mental Lord and the spiritual things. He's not as strong. So he's going to come down and do the same holy shit that he does. And then when he done, what the scripture says, then shall he give up a standard against them. You know? Then you're going to truly know what it is. You think you like being exposed? You think you hate being exposed? Wait till your ass is on the run. Wait till somebody's chasing after you. And that's how you're going to know. You know? You're actually going to prefer that we actually speak the truth and you never touch this. Once you get to that mode, oh man. I'm telling you, man, the Most High, right now, he's just raising an army. He's just preparing an army and put it into place. And you thinking it's all jokes and fun, and you're not taking the Most High seriously, so you're going to instigate a battle. And the warriors that Yahweh Shemshah has prepared for your ass, they ain't no pushovers, man. They're not some dudes in a cave yelling Allah Akbar. That's not who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the men of honor, man. The servants of Yahweh Shemshah. That's who you're dealing with. And when they have the power, also they know exactly who you are. See, these sand rats over there, these Ishmaelites, don't like really know like the Rothschilds and all these things, or even like your scholars. But we know who you are. We know what wickedness is.
Well, a lot of them are set up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them set up.
We know the root of we know where the root of wickedness is. So we coming after you. Now we also know that
Spiritually.
Yeah, spiritually. Yeah. You know, hey, you like having your dogs hunting down sniffing. We gonna know exactly where you are. It's not like a video game. Oh, you know how you go to a video game and the map will tell you exactly where you gotta go. You don't gotta
Like in Dragon Ball Z, when they used to have the scouters. So, yeah, the scouters.
Yeah.
And if some of them didn't have that, they could just sense, wherever these people at.
Yep. Hey, I could be on a different continent. I don't know exactly where you are. Fly to that bitch, grab you all that stuff. You know what time it is, bro. You know what time it is. So if you think the most problem that we're going to the outside side gives you his power, and then you're gonna really understand what it's like to be weak and powerless.
Yeah, he gonna come down with the angels too.
Yeah.
Because see, that's the thing. Like you said, they look at it like what we're saying is crazy, right? But hold on. All right, we talk about the chariots of the Lord. There was a U.S. senator or politician who came out and said that. He confirmed that. He came out his mouth and said, yeah, the whole UFO cases, that's in the book of Ezekiel.
Yeah.
So what was he? Yeah. So what was he talking about? And then you had a case years ago where there was a bunch of UFOs that surrounded the White House, and that's documented. So here it is. We've been telling you about them when your government was telling you that it was conspiracy theories. Oh, he just hit something. Oh boy. Well, when your government was telling you it was conspiracy theories, now they came out and tell you that no, this is real. We're dealing with something that's like thousands of years technologically more advanced than us.
We've been about it for 70 years.
But we're crazy though. So why is your U.S. government coming out and confirming the things that we're telling you? The thing about it is we're the only ones who can explain what it actually is. But once again, by the time that people see it, it's going to be too late. So according to the scriptures, the Lord is going to come down with them angels. Them chariots you see flying around, they in the Middle East, they over here, they over there. They got a purpose. They're not just doing it for fun. You got it?
2nd Ezra 6:18. And it said, behold, moving 17, and it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened. And behold, there was a voice that spake, and, excuse me, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
And when the Lord comes to visit, he's not coming with flowers and presents. He's coming with wrath and fierce anger, because the world is completely polluted. So when he comes to visit, he's coming with destruction to cleanse this place. The Most High did not create a man to become anything other than a man. Likewise for a woman. The Most High didn't create the world to end up in the situation that it is in the way it is today. And we speak out against that because that's wrong. At the end of the day, that is what it is. The life, this world is not created on a spectrum of how you feel. Oh, it's right because I feel it's right. Oh, it's this because I feel it's this. No, the Lord has a right and a wrong. It ain't let me shift it over, let me do this. No, it's right and wrong. So everything that you're doing, when the Lord comes back, he's going to visit it with destruction. He's going to punish you.
How Shah said in the beginning, he created them man and woman.
Right.
So if the Lord himself said it, they don't want to listen, then they're anti-Messiah.
Right. And even nature shows you that. How many genders do you see in every species in nature? What?
2nd Ezra 6:19. And will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness.
And so the Lord's he's going to come with questions. He's going to inquire to find out, which he already knows. But the point is, he's going to search out, and he's going to judge for all the wicked acts and the wicked deeds that have been going on the face of the planet Earth. Because to speak the truth in an unrighteous society like this, you're demonized. And that goes to show you, hold on one second, why is somebody evil when they're standing up for what's right? What does that tell you about that kind of society? If the society, if you're in a society where when you tell somebody that it ain't right, to change your plumbing, if you know what I mean, for a man to, cross the threshold, right? And they're looked at as wrong. You're evil, you're anti, that's what you're anti. They throw anti before anything, and all of a sudden it's just that. Wait a minute. If you're anti, Moism, Why does that make you biased? So what does that tell you about this society? If you're speaking truth in a society and they're demonizing you, that society is built on lies.
Upside down should be a
There you go. There you go. But guess what? There's one righteous judge that's up there. And the Most High is going, look, time will tell at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what you say, time will tell. Time is the ultimate truth teller. If I say that, you know, I don't know, there's a red car going to pass you at 2 p.m. and you say, no, the car that's going to pass you at 2 p.m. is yellow and it's going to, time will tell. You may say, I don't believe you. I may say, I don't believe you. But when it's 2 o'clock, time is going to tell the truth as to who is right, you know? So, I mean, how much you willing to, you know, how much you willing to wager on that?
And also to land back off the brother Ayash's point that, hey, the Inquisition, the investigation, the Lord's Spirit is on us now to begin it. And that's how the elites are being sought out. Normally, nobody was asking about BlackRock and different transnational corporations. Now all the things are being brought to the light. And then when they can turn around to us, we be like, we've been saying this. You know, the prophets, through the Spirit of the Lord will we those men. It's been exposed. So we have all the answers. Who are they? They're the elite, they're the elite. And they rule the world. Oh, well, where's that? We go to the scriptures straight short. That's the danger of what we're doing. And then what they already know, once they try to put a hand on us, that's their end. So why haven't they stopped us? Because ultimately the Lord has a hedge around us. And they're scared to touch us because they know once they touch us, that's it.
Yeah, and I was saying like, because to a certain extent, they actually know how to fight whistleblowers, but the people they get are those that don't speak in the they have Hashem Yashai, you know, but then nevertheless their work still lives on, and you know, sometimes we use it to further the ministry, but one of the main problem, their kryptonite is actually the ministry of Yahweh Hashem Yashai. That's what it is. And so when I say that they don't really know how to fight people who expose them, that's what I mean. I mean the ministry. It's always been Esau Edom's kryptonite, all the time, right?
Yep. You going?
Back in 2 Ezra 6 and 19, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness.
And that's what they're doing. They're here unjustly. When they brought us here in slavery, what did we do to them? I mean, okay, let's look at what happened on a large scale. You went to a certain part of the world, you took a certain particular people. It wasn't Chinese people, it wasn't East Indians, it wasn't Japanese people, it wasn't Koreans, it wasn't Russians. It was us, right? It was us, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you look at what they did to the Native Americans, what they did to the Latinos, what they did to us, it's all very similar, you know? And it wasn't a one-day event, it wasn't a one-month event, it wasn't a 2-year event. This went on for hundreds of years. So why, number one, why did they target nobody else but us? Anyway, they did all of these things and hurt unjustly, okay? When you read the atrocities they committed against our people, where we were helpless, we couldn't do anything about it. I think there was situations where they would tie one half of a man to a horse on one side and another half on the other side, and then whip the horse so they run in opposite directions and rip this man in half. You know?
That's the Levite Jews.
The Levite?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Sometimes in fours.
Oh, shit.
Every
So
limb
look at
tied
that.
to a horse.
And then they would rip them in all different parts. Look at that.
They did it to women as well.
They did it to women as well. They would rape your woman in the shack in front of you. You know? They would cut open pregnant women's stomachs, so when the baby falls out, you know, they'll stomp on the baby so that they can save bullets. And then they would use the baby as alligator bait. Tie a rope around their torso, throw them into the water, and when the alligators come out, then they get the alligator and they use it to do whatever it is they want to do. I mean, these were the things that they were doing. Now keep in mind, they're doing this to people. What was that?
Buck breaking as well.
Oh, buck breaking, you know, raping men. These were the things they were doing. Now keep in mind, when they did this to the natives that were over here, it wasn't like the natives said, the second you got here, we're going to war with you. And these were people that showed them hospitality, that taught them different things, that offered their land, offered gold, offered all of these things to them.
They helped them maps, coattails, and
Oh, yeah, they-
because they didn't know the wilderness, so they showed them the ropes and all these things.
And then
Cortez
returned
actually
to
said,
Manhattan.
in his journal, he actually said that it is his birthright to take over the America. He got to be a conqueror in some way or some form in that region.
You know what they said as the justification was that the people they found here in the Americas when they came here were heathens. And because they were heathens and unbelievers, they were basically like you know, it was okay for them to treat them that way because they weren't considered like on the same level, so it wouldn't be an atrocity. And that's the mindset that they went in to do all these things. You sold us on auction blocks like we were property, you know. So do we not have a right to be upset? You hid the truth from us, put us in oppression, did all these things, but now we understand why it all happened. Because it was prophesied in the Bible that because of our disobedience, we would go into these conditions. That's all in the book of Deuteronomy. You know? So
Manifest destiny.
manifest destiny. So these are the atrocities they committed. So when the Most High comes down to visit this place, is he not gonna punish them for the things that they did?
Oh, yeah.
Is that not unrighteous? What did we do? You came to somebody that showed you love and you showed them nothing but hate and wickedness, and you still do it till today. Levi is a very popular brand that's continuing to make money off of our people today. And then they make mockery by giving you Columbus Day. You're celebrating Columbus Day. What did Columbus do? The whole world knows what Columbus did, and yet there's a day to commemorate this guy. And this is a righteous society?
And then, like right when they've been honoring this man all this time, and then now they know they can upset it.
And then,
What that shit.
well, it said they're going to seek to please the poor.
Yeah.
Then they got Black Friday,
Yeah.
which goes into them selling slaves on auction blocks.
That's it.
You got it?
James 5:5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter.
Yeah, that's exactly what they've done. They didn't. The scriptures tell you that when they did these things, they didn't think about the latter end. When they were buck breaking and doing all this wickedness, cutting off toes, you know, having you work in the fields until you literally drop dead, whether you were old or young or whatever the case is, you think they stopped and thought that, damn, these are actual humans that we're doing this to? Oh, right, because we're 3/5 of a man. And like I said, while all this was going on, who was it happening to? Us. It wasn't happening to Chinese or anybody else but us. But yet, we're the only people that can't be upset about it. Nobody stood up for us. Nobody went to the world government and said, hey, you can't do these wicked, atrocious acts to these people. You know? Here it is. They'll go to church, come back after church, pick somebody, and lynch him. That's where the term pick they come from. Pick a nigga. You know? Hang him and all that. Mutilate them, burn them, and then send their body parts to their friends and mail it as gifts.
Sometimes they eat our body parts.
Sometimes they eat your body parts, cut off your ear and all of that.
You know how you have leather? But it's, exactly.
From slaves, right?
Yeah, but they'll have the boots and the bags.
So now keep in mind, these same people did this to us, and they're still profiting over these things. Look at what they did to Emmett Till. The kid's face is unrecognizable by even his mom. When they had to have the casket open, and they told him, look, that's a success. This. But these people are supposed to be the righteous people of the earth, right? You can't say anything bad against them.
I believe when she lied on him on her deathbed, she said she wanted to get right with God.
Yeah.
So she wanted to go to heaven.
She came out later and said that no, he didn't actually do it. So how many times have you heard that? Even to this day with women do that. They falsely accuse men.
Yeah. So she hid all this truth because she's not interested in the right judgment. But if she was really sorrowful, she would stand up and receive that judgment. But she don't want to do that. She want to wait till she's old on her deathbed and then just want to. So she thinks she's gonna escape judgment. That's Esau Edom. You got guys, man. Always trying to outsmart the Yahweh Hashem Yashai. You think you're so fucking smart, but you can. It talks about the judgment of the mercy. The judgment seat of the Yahweh Hashem Yashai does not compromise. It doesn't. Yo, I don't care if you're a light skin, blonde hair, blue eye. When you're wrong in the eyes of the Yahweh Hashem Yashai, that's all you see. The Most High said that to us. I don't look at a man's outward appearance. I don't care if you're good looking, how much money you have. We're just talking about in the day of judgment. So the scripture actually said it. The scripture actually talks about how everything that we do, even if it's for the good of the Most High, it's not really for the good of the Most High because everything is made possible by His hand.
Right.
If we build a house unto the Lord, it's the elements that He created, the stone and all these things that we made, the gold. He made all these things. So there's really nothing that you can wager your life to Yahweh Hashem Yashai for. You know, but you Esau Edom, you're so caught up in your privileges that you think that the Most High is human to where He can look upon you favorably and all. Westernization did not happen in the fucking fourth dimension, dumbass. What the hell are you talking about? You think the Most High references the white man like the way men did on earth? Yo,
Well, he set him up. You know, he created him to be the wicked.
yeah, man, yo, you're nobody up there, man. When you get over there, you get treated like worse than a nigga. You get treated worse than a minority. Okay, you're a sub-minority. You know, beasts have more clothes than your ass, and you're gonna know. You know, I believe there was also a video where this kid had a dream, where he said he had a dream of heaven. When he get there, all the white people were sitting
Oh,
back.
yeah.
And yo,
They gave him the rules of parking.
Yeah. you have no idea what's happening to you, man. And you Edomites, you know, what you deserve. The scripture talks about the Most High repaying the judgments 1,000-fold upon our enemies. You know, so you really gonna get it.
Everything that Esau is guilty of, he accused us of. Because he said, we're the savage and beast. Well, look how he's the real savage. He comes from the caves. Literally. You know? This man commits genocide and does all this stuff. And then he says that you're the terrorists. You're the extremists. But he's the one that's committing all this, so then he just tried to point the finger. That's why he's known as the accuser of the brethren.
Right. So this is to go on to how the Most High really do nothing. This Isaiah chapter 66, verse 1. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you build unto me, and where is the place of my rest? For all those things has my hand made, and all those things have been for the Lord."
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Brother Ayash made a little earlier about how, Esau Edom cannot escape the judgment. Like it said, going back to the book of Genesis, when Cain slew his brother Abel, and the Lord said, "What? The blood of thy brother Abel cried unto me from the ground," which is what? That means his spirit, when his spirit left his body, it went up there to the heavens, and it pleaded unto the heavenly Father, like, yo, this guy just killed me for no reason. Like, what the hell is going on? So imagine all those souls that you've killed for, even unto this day, like, what's that dude? To this day, what's his name? You guys name the boxer, yeah. To this day. Right, you have all these souls going up there. It's like, yo, and even though we know it's the Lord's judgment, like what's the guy that not recently died, but within like these last couple of years, George Floyd. Yeah, him, Sandra Bland. We mentioned Emmett Till. What was that? Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
That other guy. All this, all these senseless killings. Yo, what the hell? It was the judgment of the Heavenly Father, yes, but it was done unrighteously, unjustly. So you're going to be visited for that.
Scripture talks about the wicked as a sword. It doesn't make them wicked or righteous. You're still gonna have to. And like I was saying, that that woman, man, because she's used to crying unto them. Because even my woman does that. A lot of people have a lot of soft spoken. She's thinking she can go up there to the Most High and play that shit. The Most High can never put up the prize. And a wicked Jake can barely, escape the wickedness by crying to the Most High. How about you Edomite, and seed of the wicked,
Another point, Yahushua mentioned it with the wicked ruler and the woman that kept coming up to him, avenge me of my adversary. So imagine all these spirits, Israelite spirits, going up there like, yo, what are you going to do something? Like, you the Most High, do something. I believe it tells you that in Revelation 6th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. It's either, I think it is the 6th chapter. It's like, yeah. When we avenge our brethren that are on the earth. So it's like over and over, the Most High has to hear all these cries like, yo, do something. Like, what are you going to change? Like that. Eventually, he will do something. Eventually, you get tired of hearing the women nag you over and over. So it's like, all right, I'm going to do something. I mean, he has it all planned out to how he is, but it's like, he will do something. He's not just going to watch this bullshit just go on here. Like, imagine you're the creator of the universe, and you have this piece of shit, pardon my language, destroying your land, destroying your people, destroying everything that you created. The time that, think about it, the Most High took his time to develop all these things, to think about how he wanted us to be, how he wanted the earth to be created. And you mean to tell me he's just gonna watch this piece of shit just run his invention into the ground, into nothing? Fuck that.
You got the Pacific garbage patch, 3 times the size of Texas, plastic, that's crazy in the ocean. Just an island of plastic, and it's caught up by different currents, so it can't go anywhere. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. Certain species of turtles, 3/4 of their diet is plastics because of the so-called whiteness. So there has to be a recompense for that.
They destroyed the earth.
James 5 and 6, ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. That explains itself.
Yeah, even David said, I believe in Psalms 18 chapter, he says, my enemies are too strong for me. When he was speaking prophetically, when Jake, like let's say Jake woman finds out her son got shot by a cop, all she can do is just cry on television, just go to the my ass for justice, but he's not gonna do shit. And there are some cases where the woman will actually be like, oh, I forgive him. She didn't forgive your ass. It's just nothing she can do. She better say that shit to herself, or she's gonna cry herself to death. You know, there's no mind in our hands.
So that's in Deuteronomy. And also the scriptures tell you that we are those whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Because the Lord gave us into their hands. Right? Ultimately it's due to our disobedience, but at the end of the day, it doesn't justify their wickedness or their atrocious, injustices that they're going about doing. But guess what? It's going to expand past us. Our time is almost up. Our time is almost up. We're not going to be out here for much longer. And guess what? When we're not out here, all the things we've been warning you about, because these are warnings. That's what we're out here to do. We're just here to give you the warning. If whether you take heed or not, that's between you and the Most High. But when the famines come, when the power goes out, when the economy crashes, anybody who's been paying attention will tell you that, that's literally the direction this place is going. When that happens, people are gonna look for answers. And like we keep saying, man, we ain't gonna be here. So now what are you gonna do? Because now you have families, right? You're gonna be afraid, you're gonna want to protect your family, you're gonna want to know what to do, where to go, And you're not gonna be getting the right information from this so-called media, this mainstream media. Because like in the movie Leave the World Behind, they couldn't go on the internet. The only way she was able to get that information was from like old notifications. But after that, everything disappeared. They couldn't make it back to the city. Now, here's an interesting fact. The movie was about less than 2 hours long? In the real life situation, guess what? They're gonna go to sleep and wake up the next day in that same situation. And the next week, they're still gonna be in that same situation. And each week that goes by, the food gets less and less and less. And each week that goes by, somebody else could get infected. You don't have medication. The son's teeth was falling out, right? If the guy they went to didn't give him medication, what do you think would have happened to him? He would have died. End of story. You can't go to the hospital. And even if you do find a hospital, do you actually think there's going to be somebody in the hospital ready to check you in? There's going to be a doctor that's going to walk in there with a stethoscope. Yeah, 1 second. Let me check your heart rate and all those things. Do you honestly think that's what's going to happen? A lot of people don't even know how to use a first aid kit. So what benefit is it going to be to you when you take your ass even into a hospital and you find all these resources and materials? You don't even know how to use it. What's even worse is, what about people that are in nursing homes or people that are stuck on these machines in these hospitals? Do you think that your caretaker, because a lot of them you have like nurses and stuff that have shifts and they watch these patients, right? You think these nurses are over here saying, all hell's breaking loose, I got a 2-year-old son at home, I gotta go and take care of him, but you know what, I really love my patient so much, I'm gonna put my 2-year-old son on hold and I'm gonna make sure I take care of my patient. It doesn't work. Real life doesn't work that way. When there's a power outage, if you're stuck on a machine that's helping you breathe, you better hope there's a generator. But if it's an EMP, well, say your last goodbyes. So you got to think about like real life. You got to think about this form of judgment in a real life sense. In a real life sense, these things will actually affect you in your day-to-day life. People haven't had to go 2, 3, 4, 5 days without eating. Because you always have had the ability to go to the store and get some food or order something online. How do you actually react when you go 2 to 3 days without actually food and water inside of your mouth, inside of your body?
So, one quick point. Remember when things was locked down, how people was acting and things like that? They couldn't deal with it. Now look at, this is New Year's Eve. Things are a little bit normal, so people can start homeless and things like that. Remember back then when there was lockdown, what was it? I think it was Times Square was dead.
Yep.
It was empty. There was no
Boarded down.
celebrating. Yeah,
Boarded
no
down.
New Year's. They tried to, but it wasn't the same. So it's gonna be that same thing. People are not used to when things are not normal.
Yeah.
When the what is it? How's it saying? When your normal functions or something like that. Or is, I'm getting tired of all this, but when things is not normal, people don't start acting crazy.
They don't lose their minds. Whatever's left of them. Anyway, what we got?
We started Revelation 13.
Let's
and
finish
also,
that.
You have mentioned 2nd Ezra 15.
Come on, let's finish Revelation 13 and jump to 2nd Ezra 15.
Revelation 13 and 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
Right, so the Apostle John, once again, going back to the vision of this prophecy, right? What he's seeing is, yo, why is it that anybody that, like, there's something that I'm seeing, like, some people go in there and they're able to buy certain things. The Lord could have probably showed him some, maybe downtown Manhattan or some other parts where he sees people in different settings being allowed to pay for certain things, you know, making transactions. But you can see, because he said, right, receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might. So how did he know that they had a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads? And how did he know that if you didn't have that mark, you couldn't buy and sell? He had to have witnessed this, right? It's not like he was reading a contract somewhere that says, if you don't have this, yada, yada, yada. He must have seen people going into the store, and he must have seen them being scanned either on their hand or on their foreheads. And that's what let him know that there's something like here or here that people don't, that whenever they try to scan it, if whatever's supposed to be there's not in there, they're not allowed to buy and sell anything, you know? So that's what he was like, oh, whatever this is, that's basically the theme around it. That's what you got to watch out for, okay? He was not going to tell you it was the RFID C-HIP, you know, and what it is it uses the sensor, and then whenever they bring this, first off, that technology was nowhere near existence at his time. He was seeing something that he could only describe with the words or the vocabulary that he had at the time. That's why when he talks about World War III, he doesn't actually say World War III. He doesn't say nuclear missiles. He doesn't say America, because he's seeing the future. America didn't exist at his time. It existed in the vision, though. So what can he say? Oh, I saw, some of the prophets will say like a fiery flying serpent, you know, or they'll describe this arrow, because to them, what was the closest thing to a missile? An arrow. Because you have a missile that comes out of a silo, which is angled at a certain, trajectory, and then it is shot out of the silo, and then it goes and hits its target. To them, the closest thing to that is somebody drawing a bow, arrow in a bow and letting it go. But this arrow is like fiery, and it's causing destruction. Yeah, exactly. It's like if we got a vision of the future, and there was these like sophisticated means of transportation, we would describe it to somebody over here using our terms. You may say something like, it looked like a car, but it wasn't really like a... The second you say it looked like a car, you're describing it with something that you have knowledge of. You're not going to explain what it actually is because you don't know what it is. But you know that if I tell you it looked like a car, you know what a car is. So you can piece it together that it probably had wheels and something like that. But it was flying. Okay, so I can imagine a flying car. So that's basically the same thing over here. But the Lord has given us the understanding to be able to break it down and tie it in, because we're now living in this time. So when we see Elon Musk developing a brain, an implant for your brain, we can, they're not gonna cut open your brain in the store and say, let me pull this out and see if you got money on you. No, they're gonna scan somewhere that makes the most sense, which is likely your forehead, okay, to make that transaction if they have to do it there. Because let me give you an example, right? What about somebody who doesn't have arms and doesn't have legs? They could put the thing inside of their brain, and then they can maybe control a wheelchair using their brain. And guess what? When they go to pay, they're gonna scan that joint right then and there and say, okay, you good, you can make this transaction. But when you finish that, jump to Revelation 14 and 9. Because the importance is you gotta know what's the mark of the beast. But not only that, but okay, now that I know what it is, so what? What is that gonna do for me? You gotta know what it is, and you gotta know not to take it. But then you gotta understand, why shouldn't I take it? What happens if I do take it?
That's why.
Revelation 16 is fine.
Yeah, good.
It's something that's mentioned that many times in the scripture, so it's super important to know what it is. That's why it's important that we come against camps that's not teaching the right way. People think that we're making a big deal out of something small, but it's really not small. Even though it's the size of a grain of rice, it's a big deal for you to know what it is.
Right.
For you to know the other side of what's going to happen to you if you take it. Because other camps want to create like a type of way for you to feel at ease that, all right, well, if you really do it, you know, you just had to eat, so it's all good. We're reading on Revelation 13 and 18. Here is
you know what's
wisdom.
interesting, right? When we tell them that the Most High is going to do this and he's going to do that, he's going to do this, they think about it like it's fairy tales. But they'll believe that the Most High did have Yahushua walk on water. That the Most High had Moses part the Red Sea in half. So he was able to perform all these miracles and these great feats back then. Flood the whole entire earth. But he's not going to do anything this time. When we say he's going to bring the Third World War and all of these things, no, that's not real. You might as well throw out the Bible.
Yeah, the Lord lulled them to sleep.
Yep.
Because it's a time where, you know, in the ancient world, you would have those type of like spiritual, miraculous things. Now it's kind of a time where just people in their technology and regular life. But now the Lord, this is the climax of the movie. So the Lord is going to pull out all the stops.
Right.
It's going to be more miracles, greater miracles than the ancient times. And these people, their minds are going to be blown. People, the scripture says that their hearts are going to fail them for seeing it, witnessing the things that they're actually seeing.
Right.
They won't even be able to believe what they're actually seeing, so they're just going to shut down and perish on the spot. Yeah. Revelation 13 and 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
That comes out to 666. A score is 20. 3 scores 3 times 20, which is 60. So 660 and 6, that's 666. Alright. That's it?
Yep, you wanted Revelation 14 and 8.
Yeah.
And there followed another angel saying,
Now in the Revelation, the 14th chapter, once again, a part of the vision that the Apostle John saw. Go on.
saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city.
And that's
Because
talking about America. All right, he's talking about the destruction or the collapse of this so-called kingdom. Go ahead.
because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Right. So what was her fornication? By going around setting up these deals with these nations, but it was by way of corruption. She spread her democracy and corruption. Look, like what they try to do in Africa. What's her name? Kamala Harris. She went there and tried to convince African leaders that they should allow Moism, right, men and men, to behave like men and women, and then they would fund them, and if they didn't, then they wouldn't give them any money, you know. But these are the types of things that they've done on all different fronts all around the world. There's always a government, and then there's a shadow government who are actually making deals and running shit behind the scenes, and then outwardly they look like they're enemies with this side, but on the down low they're working together, you know.
That's like wrestling.
Yeah, exactly, like wrestling. Yep.
Just if I may, imagine how depraved you have to be. You have people starving in these countries, and they're telling you that a man has to be able to do what he has to do with a man in order for you to receive help.
Right.
To do some detestable shit that's against nature. I mean, that just shows you the depravity why America's going to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Yep.
Reading
They
on.
turn pork into a delicacy.
Right.
You know, they set up these centers of for you to go and eliminate your child, which is a modern day sacrifice. And then they use the genes from that to put in your food, put in your lipstick. I mean, how sick of all ingredients.
You would look like, all that, or let you know you your child.
That's it.
Somebody's child.
That's it. Yep. Well,
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image,
now the beast is talking about this really NATO and the EU, all right, which are organizations, body of nations that have been put together that outwardly run the world. Okay, they're like the main power structure in today's society. So when they worship the image of the beast, they're worshiping the images representing the system that these nations have put forth. So the conventional means to go about doing things like you have today. You know, like the system that we have today, be it like, you know, on a low level, like driving or school or whatever, like everybody knows, they talk about the system. You know, you got to do this, that, and the third if you want to end up here. If you don't do this, you're going to end up here. That's all implemented and set up by them. So ultimately, when you worship the image of the beast, you follow this system wholeheartedly to the point where when they start driving you in the direction to say, accept a man crossing the threshold to something else, you're gonna go and do it. When they get to the point where they say, no, yeah, open up your bathroom, have men come up in. You know how many accounts of men raping little girls inside of the bathroom has happened because of that? There was actually a video of a father who was recording, and his daughter was gonna go to the bathroom. And he was like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna go in there with her. Dude walked up in there with his daughter, and the second he walked up in there, he sees this other guy inside of the bathroom, so-called girls' bathroom. The nigga just hiding behind the stalls. And the second he saw the pops come in here with his daughter, he slowly walked out, you know, acting like he didn't know what was going on. And the dude recording was like, hey, let's see, this is why you gotta come in here with your kids and watch what's going on. Because right now, what's this guy doing in the girls' bathroom? Preying on little girls. But they can just have the excuse that I identify as a girl. You got a grown-ass dude with a big-ass beard looking like Kimbo Slice talking about he identifies as a 13-year-old girl. That's okay though. They did that in jail and then found out that them inmates started getting pregnant. Because the men identified as women and then they transferred them into an all-woman prison. And then they wonder why the women started getting pregnant out of nowhere.
We had that one collegiate swimmer, dude, and he went and dominated the women's division. Yeah, William Thomas, and he changed his name to Leah Thomas, and went into the changing room, and his bride is hanging out, and all the girls are complaining, like, oh, what the fuck, and the fathers are complaining, and nobody cares though. You know, they went to Congress and even said that this is depraved, this is unfair to us. How could we be in front of the men, like we're changing and we're exposed, we don't feel safe doing this? Nobody cares. This is an Edomite woman saying it.
Yeah, well, even I think it was in Congress where they asked this woman, what's the definition of a woman? She couldn't explain it.
Yeah, none of them could.
Yeah.
Like nobody could explain that. You know?
Yo.
Because they know they're gonna have to contradict themselves.
That's why they're trying to ban these words.
And the congressman said, she was like a teacher from Berkeley, and she was like, I would like to recognize that your line of questioning is phobic, and he was like, oh, it's phobic to ask if a man is a man, if a woman is a woman. And she just, you know, they go out, and there was an Eve, you know, the queen of darkness.
Yeah.
But yeah, back Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them.
Yeah.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark.
So pretty much if you're down with the system and you take that MOTB, which is an acronym for mark of the, you know what, and why did this start with worship the image? Because if you worship the image, you're gonna take that thing, right? To continue worshiping the image, you're gonna take that thing. You're not, but for us, we're not gonna take that. That's a stopping point. Because we're in this world, so obviously you gotta do things of this world. You gotta live a life. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to that, which the Lord explicitly told us don't do it, guess what? We ain't gonna do it. But we're gonna have faith. Go on.
And receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High.
Meaning, if you allow them to implant that grain of rice inside of your body, the C hip, you put it together, right? If you allow them to put that inside of your body, you're gonna suffer the wrath of the Most High. Okay? And you don't want that. The last time the Most High got angry, like I make reference to, the whole earth was flooded. People drowned. Drowning is not a fun way to go out. All right? Starving to death is definitely not a fun way to go out either. So the last time the Most High got angry, it wasn't looking too good for the world. So you do not want to suffer the wrath of the Most High. Go on.
Drowning in fire.
Yeah. Because this time, this time is going to be with fire. Yeah, you ain't gonna just get obliterated. You're gonna feel that. That's the thing. Like that's the point that, like, it's one of those very important points that unfortunately people have to experience before they can understand clearly. Which is that it's not just about dying. You know, like sometimes you talk to people and you tell them, look, this is the judgment that the Lord is gonna bring. I remember high school. You tell people, yeah, this is the judgment that the Lord is gonna bring. They'll say, okay, if I die, I die. It's not that simple. You know, you need to understand that the scripture says, fear not him that can kill the body, you know, but fear him that can kill the body and soul in hell. Meaning that the Most High can do far worse things to you than death. Okay? Yeah, than you can even imagine. Don't just play that card, because then if the Most High puts that in front of you, you're gonna be shook out your mind. You're gonna be traumatized beyond traumatized. You know, it's almost like you're tempting the Most High's hand. Oh, if I die, I die. What about if you're starving to death? Is that another case of that? Because that's a slow, painful death. It tells you that to die by a weapon is better than to starve to death. But yet, the Bible tells you that the Lord said a lot of people are going to die by starvation. The Most High is going to do that. So really, people going to see the true colors of the Most High very soon.
So like, there's dying, and then there's starving to death and having to eat your own children.
Right.
And your children is looking like Thanksgiving turkey.
That's it.
That's worse than death.
Yep.
You know, and there's fate's worse than death. And the Lord can make that fire, when you're in the lake of fire, it's like, okay, you think, okay, the missile hit and I just get absorbed into the fire. The Lord could make you feel that for a very, it'll feel like a long time. And it could be like a second.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord has the power to just make that feel. Time is nothing to me.
I was
Time,
talking about that a lot. Like the Most High's complete control of time. You
Right.
know, like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You can alter your perception.
Yeah. You know, hey, it could be just 1 hour, but it's gonna feel like, 100 years in the flames.
especially for the ones that are saying, oh, it's just death. I'm just going to die. The Lord is going to show you, like, all right, you got that type of mentality? I'm going to show you something.
Hey,
Go fear
you shall be magnified in judgments.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing about the truth. It's everybody's gonna know the truth. That's what the scripture says, that the truth is as strong as there is. It's not gonna be something that's subjective. Everybody's gonna know it. But there are some people who are gonna know it just by words alone. You warn them, just like that good kid where you tell him, yo, don't do this. They say, okay. And then there's that kid that's not gonna do it until they slip and bust their ass,
Right.
and then they're gonna learn.
Yep.
You know?
You know, find out the hard way.
The same was slowed after death by pain.
That's it.
We don't want that. No.
No,
We are obedient. Tell me once. I'm good. Don't take off the belt. Don't get the stick. Nah, I'm all right. Nah. You gotta be. That's the kind of kid you gotta be. You know, the second your father says don't do it, that's it. I would take you telling me not to do it in a nice, calm voice. I'm calm with that. I ain't gonna do it. You know. Then didn't I tell you that thing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, shit.
Come on, like you go through all this shit. This would be like,
And you know they had them special trees too. It wasn't like them sticks that break. This was like the wavy, them flexible things. They would whoop your ass. Good.
put that shit in the wind.
That's it. Sometimes they soak it in water, make it nice and thick. They whoop that ass. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they would soak the cane in water so it would become thicker. Then when they whoop your ass, they make sure you feel that. Here it is. I remember this. You do something wrong at school, you get your ass beat at school, and then you go get the continuation at home. That shit was crazy. Yeah, because in school the teachers would actually whoop your ass with the cane, and then they would tell your parents so that when you go home, your parents also got a cane at home, and you better hope your parent wasn't a teacher, because they would actually have a cane at home, and then they would whoop your ass on top of that.
And then they'll come back the next morning and tell the teacher to whoop you more.
Oh, because you ain't do your homework. Like, damn, yo.
Yeah, but it worked though. You be good for a month. You be a saint for a month.
Hell yeah. Shit. You gonna do the next 5 homeworks.
Yeah.
But you know what? That taught the children discipline. You know? So it wasn't like here where you got kids that put their hands on their parents. You know, kids shooting your parents. Like, there's some wild, crazy stories you hear over here. You're like, because you don't discipline the children from when they're young, they grow to the point where, they become bold to actually put their hands on their parents. And the scriptures tell you that you're supposed to honor your father and your mother. You're supposed to, put your hands on your parents. That's wild. It doesn't matter what age they are. You're never supposed to put your hands on your parents. Now, once again, it tells you that when the time comes, I forgot what it said. It said, he that loveth not, hateth not father and mother and all that to follow me. Which doesn't mean you got to go and hate your parents, but you can actually, respectfully decline. Like if a hypothetical situation came about, one day your pops came in and said, your mom came in and said, son, you know what? I want us to try this new thing I learned at work. We're gonna draw a nice pentagram on the ground. We're gonna light the candles, and and we're gonna try this fire
Your
sacrifice.
Latin words.
I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But you go, you gotta honor your father. No, bro. Respectfully decline that. You know?
Hey, part of honoring them is serving the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the best way to honor them.
Yep.
That brings honor to the house.
Yeah. And mercy.
Yeah.
You know, if the Lord might have mercy on them for you.
Yeah, a good name. If you're a son with a good name, that just it covers the whole family.
Right.
I believe there's a precept. I always forget where it is, but it says, if children keep wherewithal, they should be able to cover the baseness of their parents.
Right. About
I always forget where it is.
You got some more on that?
Oh, yeah, Revelation 14:10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture.
Now that's written in the metaphorical sense, right? The wine of the wrath of the Most High. So it likens the anger of the Lord onto like wine poured in a cup without mixture. You know, it's not diluted, it's just like strong. Because you know, wine is strong, but if you don't mix it with something, if you don't lighten it up. So you're gonna drink that. Drink it, you know, without mixture. Meaning that you're gonna suffer the anger or the judgment of the Heavenly Father without mercy.
I think there's another verse that says that they will drink the dregs
Right, the dregs, yeah.
down to the bottom, like
Yep.
pieces of grapes and little brittle stuff at the end, all the way down.
Yep.
Bitterness.
I was going to mention like when you drink alcohol or wine or liquor, whatever, it'd be like if you don't chase it, right, the water or the juice you would use would be to chase it to like mild it down, cool it down. So instead of getting that thing, that feeling you get, you would just be able to sit like, okay, it tastes nice. The judgment of the Lord's not going to be that. You're going to get that when you drink it, you go,
Yeah. Burn.
that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. The only thing is it ain't gonna be a small cup.
Yeah.
No lime, no lemon, no nothing to cut it, no salt around the brim.
You're just gonna have it just like that, raw. That was it on that?
No, a little bit more. It
Yes,
says, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Right.
And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone.
And that fire and brimstone is gonna be the result of World War III. Okay, and also the lasers that the Lord is gonna bring with them chariots. Because when World War III happens, that's the same time when them chariots are gonna show up. And when they show up, they're gonna be doing one of two things. They're either gonna be destroyed or they're gonna be destroyed. Because guess what? When World War III goes nuclear, you realize America's a prime target. Babylon is a prime target. As a matter of fact, the whole conflict with in the East right now, here it is, it's happening in the East, but they're targeting this place as well. That's why the FBI is talking about they got alerts everywhere. So this place is a target. So what you think is gonna happen when this war escalates and involves Iran and Russia and China and NATO and the EU and all these nations in there? You think this place is gonna be scot-free? No. This place is gonna be a target. And Russia is gonna shoot missiles over here. That's in Ezekiel 38:9. Okay? You're gonna have other nations. Iran is also gonna shoot missiles over here. That's in 2nd Ezra 15. And when those missiles hit this place, it's gonna evaporate whatever's on here. There are missiles that can hit and then take out a state the size of Texas. Because one missile carries multiple warheads. So don't think, oh, it's gonna hit, and I'm just gonna drive all the way. No. The speed of the blast is faster than whatever car you can find. So you're gonna be driving and whoop, that shit is just gonna burn you up in your car and the buildings, all of it. That's the fire that they're gonna be trying to do. So you may think, well, what's the big deal with just taking letting them put this implant inside of me if I want to be able to work or if I want to buy food or whatever the case is? Well, this is the judgment the Lord said is going to happen if you do that. Go on.
I made Revelation 16 mention that there's gonna also be like swords and
Oh, we can get that?
yeah, you're gonna have leading up to it. Leading up to the fire, you're gonna be getting judged.
Yep.
And then the fire comes.
Yep. Because that's not, the Most High didn't create technology to be inside of the human body like that. You know, they're trying to merge man and machine, and it's not compatible. Okay, the body is made to self-heal. The things that you're supposed to put into your body are natural things from the actual earth. So when you go and you put an electronic device, you cut open your body, put an electronic device in there, and close it up. Guess what? Your body's gonna reject it. Just like when they try to put like a foreign, sometimes when they try to do transplants, the host rejects the organ, and that can actually be dangerous to the actual person because the way that it rejects it is going to be some reaction that's going to cause some negative effects for the host. So what do you think is going to happen if the body can reject another natural organ? You don't think that it can reject some electronic device that's not supposed to be in there? Every time that they scan, because the way the RFID thing works is that it lies dormant. When they scan it, it emits a certain signal. You know, it's almost like the scanner sends a signal, it activates it, this sends a signal back. That signal is it's an actual magnetic field that's being caused inside of your body. That's radioactive. It's not healthy for you.
It's like your phone gets hot, especially like they say when you're being surveilled or they're like trying to watch what you're doing, your phone will heat up because there's background stuff going on. So imagine if they're surveilling you through the mark, and all of a sudden that gets hot,
Right.
and it's inside of you.
Right. You can't take that out.
You know, you on the phone, you're like, damn, this is hot. Let me put it down. The phone's overheating. Imagine if it's inside you. Ain't no taking it out. Ain't no putting it down.
Yep.
It's there.
Yep. Because basically what's going on is you got that phone, which is now, like you said, when they start doing this background surveillance, they're running more and more, you know, let's just say like processes or applications behind the scenes, which takes more energy. You know, it's kind of like you're running from like point A to point B. That's going to take some energy. But now imagine you got to run while carrying somebody, while also doing biceps curls, you know, while also doing jumping jacks every 5 seconds as you're running. Yeah, backflips and all of that. That's going to take a lot more energy. So the second they start doing some more stuff on your phone than what you're doing, of course it's going to heat up because it's taking more energy. Because energy is heat. Heat is energy. That was it on 14?
Yep, this is the last part. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
And you don't want that, right? You don't want that. You got to wake up and smell the coffee, man. Look around you. The world now versus 10 years ago is a drastic change. And it's going in one direction. You go back 10 years ago and look at like articles, look at like what the news looked like. Look at like even the kind of shows, the TV shows, like, you know, 10 years ago, it's funny how certain comedy shows, like, when you watch it now, you're like, damn, they could say all that? Because now you even breathe the wrong way and you're getting canceled. But when you go back 10, 15 years ago and you look at how like the news was, it wasn't every day that there was like some wild, crazy atrocity going on in the world. And when you look at the trend up until now, every couple of minutes, every couple of hours, there's an article coming out about somebody got shot here, somebody committed murder here, somebody got sex trafficked over here. Russia's doing this over here, Iran is doing this over here, the Houthi rebels are doing that over here. Like, there's just always some news about destruction.
Yeah, so they don't even look for missing people anymore. You see a missing person, you don't even recognize any missing person. It's like it's damn near all the time.
Right.
You know, you hear an Amber Alert. A lot of people see Amber Alert. I just gotta watch out for myself. I'm not gonna watch out for the victim.
Right.
You know, that's pretty much how it is. Fugitives are rarely being caught. If they are, they're being caught by security cars. It's not really anybody that's calling in a fugitive. People just don't give a fuck. You know? They're so overwhelmed by terrible news that it's just another fucking name for them.
And that's crazy. But this is reality. And the thing is, like I've said before, this isn't like a pit stop. Like this isn't like it got to this point and it stopped. No, you're watching like the signs on the graph. It's a continuous motion, meaning it's going down and down and down. Each year you can see the morale is getting worse and worse and worse, and the violence is going up and up and up. So as time goes on, the correlation between time and violence is that they're both positive. As time goes on, the violence gets worse, crime gets worse, the world gets worse.
And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
And that's mainly on this land right here. That smoke, the smoke of her torment is going to be here. Because the majority of the people, if you don't get delivered off of the soils here, your best bet is to leave this place. Because if you're here, when those missiles fall, it's burning from New York to California. It's literally going to wipe this place off the map. And it's just going to be a desert over here. So you either get beamed up and delivered, or you're going to burn on this land. And it's not going to be fun. All right, now let's jump to Revelation 16. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Revelation chapter 16 and verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the heavenly Father upon the earth. And the first
So pour out your vials of the wrath of the heavenly Father. you notice that a lot of scriptures you read about is talking about wrath. Like the majority of the Bible talks about the Lord's wrath, especially when he deals with prophecies. You know? So why is the Lord angry? Does anybody stop to, first off, does anybody even stop to consider how the Most High is feeling? Now, you know, it's very sad, right? Because people think about praying most of the time when they need something. You know? How many people actually say, let me check it on him, let me stop and let me pray, let me just even thank the Lord. Like, let me just dedicate this prayer to just thanking the Lord and say, you know, Lord, I appreciate the things that you do for me. You know, I got legs that I could walk, I got air that I could breathe, and you're not charging me for it. You know? Like, here's one thing. If the Most High was to say, I'm going to charge you for one thing, water or air, you would realize just how much you need this thing and just how much the Lord does for you that you don't even acknowledge. If you were to live one day as a paraplegic, or to live even 12 hours as somebody who's paralyzed, or somebody who lost the ability to do certain things because of a certain region, or blindness, you would appreciate how much, you know, you can see, or how much you can walk, or how much you can move around without a certain defect. And yet, because you do it every day, it's so normal, you forget that the Most High is having mercy on you. And at any moment, he can turn you into one of those things. Or, you know, like he can give you one of these defects. But once again, like I said, majority of people, if they pray, it's because they want or need something. And then when they get it, they don't even thank the Lord for it. And I'll see you next time I need something. So, going back to the point here, does anybody stop to think, wait, is the Most High angry? You know? Because everybody just, well, I don't know, I just need something. The Lord heard my prayers, he didn't hear my prayers. But how is the Lord? Is he upset with you? Is he angry? Because whenever you read the scriptures, it talks about the wrath of the Lord. So maybe the Lord is angry, but why is the Lord angry? Does it maybe have something to do with the wickedness that the world is in right now? Will he be angry at you if you're down with that same wickedness?
Verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth.
Yeah.
And there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the man which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
So basically, for those that went and took, you know, to see him, according to the vision that the Apostle John saw, they ended up having a sword. When you go into it, I think it's like an ulcer, like a discharge, you know, because of that implant.
It says a wound producing a discharge plus a sore ulcer.
Now, imagine if something like that happens in your brain. You know how delicate your brain is, right? So imagine if something like that happens to your brain. You're dead. You're gone. You know, you're pretty much through. And so everything around that thing is bad news. You know, it's bad news. And that's why the Lord said, don't take it. Because you're going to have the test, which is like Revelation 3 and 10. You're going to have the test. They're going to tell you, look, if you don't take this, you can't get a job. If you don't take this, and you don't have a job, you can't pay rent. If you can't pay rent, you're gonna be homeless. And we don't accept you in a homeless shelter if you don't have it either. Because we can't tell who you are. And then they'll say, well, we can't let you roam around the streets because you might be a terrorist. How do we identify you that you're not? It's kind of like the police pulling you over, you got no ID and they can't find you in the system. They're like, who are you? You know, now we gotta detain you for some questions. So the point is, they're gonna make your life very difficult to live. You go to the store and there's like this ass line, and then you see like 5 people walking in and out. They got this thing, they just scan in and out. They're gonna make your life very difficult if you don't take this thing. But that's a part of the test, you know, to see if you can, you know, have the faith in the Lord.
Speaking about how they allowed all these people over the border, and it's been mentioned many times that it wasn't even many women and children, it was mostly military-aged men. So then they create a crisis, and then they have a solution for the crisis. So we have all these people that came in, we have no way to track them. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what their solution is going to be.
Trump said that years ago. We're going to be able to track all of them. Anyway, that was it on that? All right, so yeah, we're pretty much going to end it there. That's the times we're coming into. You know, just as the Lord said, watch as well as pray. You know, because 2024 is looking to be, you know, one hell of a year. Lord willing, the year that these prophecies come to pass, because it's getting harder and harder to live in this world, man. With all this wickedness going on, you know, you can't eat, you can't drink water, you can't breathe proper air. Everything is corrupted and polluted to some degree, you know. But I'm on. You got something? All right, cool. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. And in closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Ka, Kadosh. Until next time.
Hashem Shabbat.